So it all kicked off in early 2016 when I had all these songs written and wanted to know where I was going. The band I was with previously really wasn't going anywhere, so I decided to give a mate a call. Davey was with the Red Light Runners, so I gave him a call to check out a few songs that I'd written and see what he thought. Just so happens he picks up a guitar while we're there, and we're sort of having a bit of a jam and come up with a real good vibe. And so I asked him what he thought, and he said, yeah, no, there's some merit here, and so we decided to take it to the studio.
Rob had heard my latest recording at the time and asked me to come to his place to check out these songs. He's got these 10 songs, wants to do a record. Are you interested in coming and have a listen? And I went over and had a listen. And he played The Stranger, was this country type song, and I'm obviously a rock guy. And I just put this to this quite simple chord progression. And yeah, it sort of started from there, and then I sort of tried to slide rock pretty much into everything.
So there we were ready to go to the studio, and we chose to go to Jesse Wild's studios, new studio, Studio 38 in Auckland City. Had all the latest gear, and he's pretty accommodating and a good producer, so we decided to bring all the songs in and do some guide tracks. All the guide tracks started off with just myself with a guitar and singing as well, and then from there we progressed further.
I first met Rob about 4 or 5 years ago. He was playing drums for a band called the Glocks, a really cool band, and I had the pleasure to record them in my old studio, which I built beside my house out in East Auckland. I think he must have heard that I was building a new studio right in the centre of the city. And he came one day with his family just to have a look around, and we'd just finished the studio, literally like only within a few weeks. He had this idea of doing this album, and he wanted to do it here. And I'd worked with him once before, loved his songs that he wrote, so that was a really important thing. And yeah, it was a big leap. It was one of the first projects that we actually started in this new studio. So it was a big leap of faith for him to try a new studio, and I knew, I enjoyed working with Rob on the Glock stuff, so I knew it was going to be fun working with him. So yeah, it was great.
When Davey rocked up, I just started playing a few songs, and then Davey just took it from there, and he picked up his guitar and added these rocky riffs to it, and
Rob was always like consistently going, oh dude, don't worry about my vocals, man, yeah. We're gonna get a singer, yeah. And it's all painful. It's like really cool thing about Rob with this whole journey is just being completely honest about it, and we all are.
So all of these songs on this record started the same way. It was basically Rob with an acoustic guitar, we had a click track, and Rob's guide vocal. And Rob's not a singer. He's a great songwriter, and he says that he's not a singer. He was like, why do you want me to do the guide vocal? I'm like, no, you need to sing it, because we needed to get an idea of what the song was going to sound like.
For me personally, I could just hear the melodies, and we had something to work with. So it wasn't like you were beating your head against a wall. You know, there was a start. So we knew we needed to get a solid rhythm section down, and we came in here and did all the acoustic tracking demos to click track. Then we found the drummer, found the bass player, I did the rhythm guitar, we found the lead guitarist, and just kept building and building and building and building. And the whole time we're building, Rob's going, oh, my vocals.
It's a daunting thing when you're not a singer and you got to do all the guide tracks and you sing it.
Dude, and I was just saying to him, like,
wasn't good.
The musicians have to listen to how the melody goes. You have to sing it, bro.
This is literally how it started. Acoustic guitar, a click, Rob's vocal, like that. And yeah, building up the song, building up the structure. And that's what it sounds like now, you know, so we go. Yes, there is. So you got a drum track.
About our little son, when this jumped up crazy bastards walking around with guns. I saw a little old lady.
Yeah, literally, I mean, some of the tracks, there's maybe 60, 70 instrument tracks. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how it can go from a click and an acoustic guitar to that huge band sound that we've got on the record.
Some guy stole the bag, now she can't even pay.
But you got to have a vision for the song, right from day one. I could sort of hear what the drums were going to do and what the other guitars were going to do. But we needed to map out the song, and that's what we needed Rob for, to play his acoustic guitar the way he plays his acoustic guitar, because that gives the flavour to the song. And his vocal, the way he sings that, if we're going to use a session singer, I still want to hear the essence of the song. So the session singer is going to listen to the essence of the song and interpret it himself. But if he hadn't had that guide from Rob, he wouldn't know what the song was about. And I remember it was a bit of a struggle to get Rob to go in and sing those songs. But the record would not be the same if Rob hadn't sung first.
So I managed to get hold of Carl and Angie from the Glocks, and they come in and put some vocals into the guide tracks to help out, which was a huge benefit having them coming in. Davey jumped on the guitar. We added a few more bits to the guide tracks before it went out to the musicians, and then we started looking for the musicians that we wanted in the band. Guide tracks were done, we needed to find some musicians, and we needed a drummer. And who better than Sophie? He happened to be a friend of a friend, and I gave my friend a call and said, hey, is there any chance you can get Sophie to catch up with us? To have a listen to the guide tracks at least, and then see if he was interested in coming in and do some drumming for us. And Sophie agreed. He took the tracks away. Lo and behold, he comes back and he nails all 10 songs in a day session. But it wasn't that. It was a massive day.
I've always found the most complicated thing to record of anything is drums, and to get a great drum sound. And we've got a really good drum sound on this record. And yeah, it takes time. And there was that one tom that was just really pissing everyone off. But I'll have to say, we persevered at it. I had Tyler here, who's an incredible engineer. I engineered pretty much most of the album myself, except with the drum sessions. I had Tyler, and thank God he was here, because we were banging that tom for a couple of hours to make it sound right. But it's worth it, absolutely worth it. You listen to that record, those drums sound great.
All right, let's just try and get that ending and that fill. So this is with Ride.
It was a massive day. It was probably like 14, 16 hours or something.
16 hours, but we lost about an hour at the beginning. We had it was a strange...
A gremlin in the floor tom.
Gremlin in the floor tom.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get rid of it.
Like just before we were ready to press the big red button, a bouncy ball decided to land in the freaking floor tom, and it took us over an hour to put tape here and tweak it here, and oh my God.
So I'd found my drummer, and then which was amazing. And then we needed a solid bass player, someone that was going to bring some good bassy licks and be able to, be able to listen to my voice for a while.
Another 12 hours.
But so Davey had Carl win.
He just brings quality. And that's another thing I'd have to say about all the musicians. Like, there's good quality instrumentation, good quality gear, good sounds were recorded. And Carl, again, very much like that. And I mean, he's a fiend.
So we had the bass, we had the drums down, then we had to complete the rhythm section with the right sound. And the key for us was getting the right rocky sound to all the songs, because a lot of the songs they're not all rock. So there's some ballads, there's some country songs, there's a pop song. I was finding a flavour that would mix all throughout the songs and bring the record together. Otherwise, it's just like a big mishmash. So Davey brought it with with the rhythm, you know, and the rhythm that we did with acoustic and guitar brought those sounds together and connected the dots, basically.
Yeah, it was really the first time I'd worked on anything that was consistently acoustic, but then consistently electric at the same time. So I went home and practiced all my parts and brought a bit more meat to the sandwich. So I was playing big chords through a full valve Mesa Boogie amp, and like we played, it was pretty loud. Putting these massive drop D chords over a classic E standard tuning, it just sounded huge. And all of a sudden the whole sound had gone from this to this, had this massive width to it, I thought. And just continued down that road, and it just kept working, and
It just bits of flavour that were added to each song. You know, like I remember the outro and Home, the rhythm where we had the lead guitar goes for like 3.5 minutes. It's just full on, and old John's just on a he's just in his own little world. But then we actually cut the lead. The rhythm was so good at the end. Remember we took your rhythm, and we actually cut the lead, and the rhythm becomes the lead.
When I first met Rob, I just thought he was a drummer. I mean, that's all I'd ever seen him play. But he can actually play a pretty good guitar. When we started with the guide tracks, I thought his acoustic guitar playing was really good. So we ended up, I think, once we'd done the drums, we re-recorded some of the acoustic guitars with Rob playing, and we've kept that on the album. It's great. And he's got a really unique style. Some of the picking, acoustic guitar picking is his, some of the strumming is his, and it just sounds good. So we put Rob the drummer's guitar in there.
Rob has a very simplistic songwriting style, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, because the most simplest of melodies are arguably the best. He has quite a strong finger picking sense, so there was quite a few of the intros of the songs that had a finger picking start. So there were moments for myself where I found it could be a bit samey, but we worked on the structures and the arrangements, and we pulled the melodies out because they were the ones that were shining brightest within the different songs. I believe he did most of the intros to the songs, which gave us a lead in to how the song was going to go. And then we worked on arrangements, again focusing on the melodies, pulling the melodies out. And he wanted stronger musicians to make his songs come to life. He wants to record a record, and that's what he's done.
John Kemp. So how do we find John Kemp? You know, he's been in LA, America for a number of years, 15, 20 years, and he's played with some of the best bands in the world. You know, and so what happens? Just out of pure luck, my old band, the Glocks, the lead guitarist Mike went to school with him, and John was his inspiration to learn the lead, and so obviously, so he knew John, and I just happened to tell him one day that we're looking for a really solid lead guitar player. Some of the songs are huge, they've got massive big long solos, so we needed someone that just had the power.
I think the first thing that happens when you're listening to songs for the first time is if you're front brainy, kind of like I am as a musician, you're immediately really starting to hear sort of what you might do or how you'd embellish it, you know, like if you're gonna use a certain kind of amp tone or how you can enhance it with a certain part or something like that, you know.
With Dreamers, I think it was Dreamers, they wanted a sort of more of a Dire Straits type lead guitar sound. So Johnny just plays Dire Straits type sound.
took a little bit more than what we thought, because he was going off in tangents and going away with all these things and these licks and these, everything was amazing, but it was going to become an editing nightmare because there were so many. But,
absolutely. I mean, we get to the one song and the lead guitar solo, I think you mentioned it before, I mean, it's like 3.5 minutes long, man. I mean, you don't really get very many lead guitar solos that are 3.5 minutes long. And poor Johnny, his fingers must have been just so
But he
sore,
was just so solid the whole time, and
hours.
just rocking it, eh? And it was just a pleasure sitting there, eh?
Oh, absolutely.
Absolute pleasure sitting there watching him just do his thing.
And we're getting towards the end, and it's like, okay, I really want to bring the Hendrix now, or whatever the.
And he's just like, oh, like this.
Yeah.
He bangs out all these things. Once you got all your rhythm down, you got your lead guitars and everything sounding fantastic, and then we had to find. So my original thinking was, because all the songs were quite different, my original thoughts were having 3 or 4 different singers singing the songs. I just thought that was the way it was going to work.
And we actually did bring in a few different singers to try it out.
Yeah.
Some singers you knew, and so on and so forth.
And it was sounding like we were going to head that way. It really did.
But
then, just out of sheer luck again. Out of sheer luck, I'm talking to Sophie after the drumming session, and I said to Sophie, it'd be really good if we could find someone that had just the right flavour. It'd be hard to find someone that had Chris Cornell, but Jimmy Barnes, but
just being able to sing the whole spectrum, from a ballad to a country song to a rock song to an epic something, blah blah blah.
Not thinking there's anyone out there that's possibly could do all the different songs that we've got, and Sophie says, well, hey, I know someone that would be able to nail these songs.
So initially Rob gave me a call and asked me if I'd be interested in singing 5 songs on his project, and I've never met Rob before. He said, I'll send them through, have a listen, see what you think. He sent them through and I had a good listen to them, and I really liked them. I liked the fact that they were, all the songs were slightly different, they had different feels, and some were faster, some were slower, and I thought that I could really bring something creative to the mix with the backings that have been done. And when it got to the end of 5 songs, I got a call from Rob saying, we've just been listening to the songs that you've just done the vocals on, and me and the boys were wondering if you'd like to do the other 5 songs for the album as well. To which, of course, I said, yeah, I'd love to do them.
I like an album to be coherent. This is a really live sounding album, even though it started as acoustic guitar and a click. As soon as the drums was the next thing, and then we basically threw away the acoustic guitar and the click and re-recorded everything. So it's a very live sounding record, and I wanted it to be coherent, and you got a great singer like Ants. Why wouldn't you use him on all 10 tracks? And it just makes the whole thing stick together a lot more. Incredible singer. He did all his own harmonies and things like that. He was going to fly up and do the vocals here, but we were loving the guide vocals that he sending us so much. Just thought, do it there.
Recording here in Christchurch in my studio has been somewhat of a breeze, really. And of course, being able to just do it whenever I've got a time or whenever I had a chance, or felt in a creative mode, as opposed to having to go in and go, right, we're starting here and we're going to be finished by this time. Having no time restraints was a helpful thing to have.
Next minute, we've got Ants on the album, and I remember sitting in the studio with Jesse and Davey, and I was still of the opinion we were going to have 3 or 4 singers. And he sends up this demo. He sends us two demos. There was Dreamers and Hold On.
And just the harmonising to himself. So he's just painted this whole choral type image just by himself. It was amazing. It was like, well, I think we found our guy.
Yeah.
You know,
He floored us. The faces of Jesse
This
and
guy
Davey,
can sing,
and because yeah, I mean, we'd only been listening to ourselves for all this time on all the guide tracks, and then we get this guy who's just world class, and he comes out and he just bangs out these songs, and it's just a guide track, and we're just floored.
Hits me like a hurricane.
He's got the talent there. He's got the vocal range was probably the most extensive vocal range I've heard in a guy.
Yeah. The harmonies,
Outstanding, you know.
Yeah, unreal.
Like a freight train. The wings are the same. Flying on a jet plane. So hold on, I won't be long. I'm coming home to you. So hold on.
So I remember on Dreamers when Davey was recording the rhythm, and we asked him to do that front lick. We were always going to get Jono.
The
do
dire
it.
straightsy kind of
Yeah. And we did that, and I said to Davey, do that. To start with, and Davey goes in and he just and Jess, we both said just record him, and he's just practicing, and we're doing.
I'm ready now.
And he's like, yeah, I'm ready. And we're like, nah, dude, we just recorded it.
I've learned too many times when people are doing a sound check and practicing, it's usually the best stuff happens, and as soon as they say I'm ready to record, they get red light fever, and then they can never remember the lick again. So that's why that's one of the reasons I pressed record while he was rehearsing, and we just lined it up, and it was perfect.
Is there ever any reason to ever want to try? Yes, there is. Sometimes I worry about our little son. We just jumped up crazy bastards walking around with guns.
So the next song was Hold On, wasn't it? And I remember that skank guitar that Johnny was doing, and I just think that really locks it in. But I also think the picking, your intro picking, really locks it in. That's why we kept it in there. It was only supposed to be a guide guitar, but that's the one we're using.
I think it was the first song we heard Anthony sing on, and that was the moment kind of leveled us a little bit. It was like, oh my god, this dude's got some mumbo.
We need to use him for everything.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Yeah.
And he harmonises to himself.
That's
I know that skank was always like took me right back to like a 50s, 60s era, like that
Motown, exactly.
Motown skank.
That's what I heard too.
It was also one of the tracks that we brought in Andrew Ishii with the organ and the piano.
Yeah, that really suits it. The strings and the organ and the piano were all done in Mississippi by Andrew. Yeah. Great.
I'm coming home to you. telling me you had gone. I started to hesitate, not knowing what to say.
I think I like about this song the most is when that Counting Crows style guitar comes in about here. It goes, and that just lifts the whole song. I
It just
reckon.
has that nice flow, nice ring to it. We brought the ukulele in just to give it that distinctive
It's
little
pretty distinctive.
ring.
It's up quite loud in the mix. It's right through the whole song.
But it
too.
just gives it that little flavour, eh? That it makes you sort of think, what is it?
Man, I'd like to talk to you again. To tell
That song was I wrote about a mate who passed away, and so it was just one of those songs that it was funny because it took me about 15 minutes to write the song. I got the phone call from a mate that another mate had died. I was sitting there right next to my guitar. I picked up my guitar, wrote the song within 15, 20 minutes, and that was the song. And that was it.
hey, this was never part of the plan. Oh man, I'd like to talk to you again. To tell you what you mean to me, my friend.
The song Home is this massive, epic song that just keeps going and going and going. It's a very, very long song, but I think one of the important things about recording, producing is when you're listening to the songs, you don't get bored, ever. As soon as you get bored, then there's something wrong, there's not right or something. And this song, Home, I think, don't quote me on this, I think it's 6 or 7 minutes long and then they get bored.
Working our fingers to the bone. Just to go.
It was a song that, when I originally wrote, was for the Glocks, and we played it a number of times. We had some really good responses with it, but it never really had the essence of what the song was about. I think we've nailed where it's come to now.
It's kind of like a rock opera. I see it as
Yeah.
a big, and it builds up from this finger picking to the.
It doesn't get boring at all, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I really like about the song. It's like
Tells
7
a story.
plus minutes long. And even from that first note on the keyboard, it just, it gives me goosebumps. It's
Piano.
awesome, yeah.
It's beautiful. There's some beautiful piano in there. He's an incredible player. But everything about that song with the sound effects and the helicopter and the going around the stereo spectrum, I love it.
A place called home. The innocent they pray, while the guilty will play.
The one thing I remember most was we started with Sophie, and we were in there with it, and we had the issues with the drums at the start. But I'll never forget, like he's trying to get the sound, and we just weren't getting what we needed. And I went in there and I said, look, mate, we need it to sound like bombs. There has to be bombs. That's what the song's about. It's got to be bombs. And that was all I had to say. I showed him a couple of little things on the drums, and he just went out and he just
Those
nailed
toms
it.
of the
He
bombs
just-
dropping.
and he just nailed it. And from there, it then become what it is now. And then obviously everyone just added their little bits. But what about the kids? Davey, conducting the
Dude,
kids.
conducting with 18 kids.
Yeah,
That
18.
was epic.
Yeah.
And my nieces and nephew were part of it, which was really cool. Dev and Carter and Edison. And that was really cool to share that with them because they never seen anything like this, So that was pretty rad. And they all got it. I was interested how we had it playing back through the monitor, remember? And then I was worried that it was going to spill through the mic and standing there with these 18 kids and all their mums and dads, I just had to block them out like they weren't even there, and I'm waving my arms around and stomping my feet.
I always looked at, the one of my first albums I ever got when I was 8 years old was Pink Floyd, The Wall, and I think of We Don't Need No Education and the kids singing, and that's how I always envisioned that sounding. So
Yeah, totally.
it works.
What about Carl? You can't go past Carl. What about so Carl Hogan from the Glocks, who was our old lead singer. Now he knows the song like the back of his hand because he'd sung it for many years, and he rocks up and like we're doing the guides, and we said, Carl, you just get into it, mate, like you normally do, and for Carl, the shirt comes off. We're standing there
in the control room looking at him going,
There's
the air conditioning broke.
And there's no ladies to impress here.
Yeah. And Carl's on the album. He sings his bits. He does
He's
the
the
bit
Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Major. He does the bit through the bridge, and that was actually the bit that we kept was actually from the guide track. Honey. So we went and originally we thought this was going to be a girl song. We found Karina West, outstanding voice, fitted the song like no other.
Absolute powerhouse. Didn't use any of her power at all, and you could just hear that she's got so much horsepower that was untapped into. It was awesome.
Exactly.
Oh, it reminded me so much of Christina Aguilera. She's just had that voice that is just, she was. And she wasn't even trying, it was just leaping out of the speakers.
But then it took on that different vibe, and then because it was going to be, well, basically the whole song was going to be purely Karina, and then Anthony goes and throws in his vocals, and basically what we said to him was have a go and see if you can fit in anywhere. So that because we wanted to try and keep him in there, we were going to keep him in the bridge. And put him in the bridge and sing alongside her, or maybe do some backup. But he just goes and nails it.
When I look at you, this space say that you're my blue.
I love that lead guitar in there.
Yeah. That lead guitar was another thing that happened. That wasn't there. It was just this upbeat rhythm, and then Johnny comes in with that guitar lick.
I wrote it for Stacey for her 30th birthday, yeah.
It's a love song, kind of got a country
The
feel.
funniest thing is I actually sung it to her in front of people for her 30th birthday.
It takes
I'm not
guts.
a singer, I can't sing. I can play the guitar okay, but but I wrote it and I sang it and everyone liked it. And
She would have been taken.
and ended up, I got it recorded in Nashville not long after that, and the song did quite well. But it's a different flavour now. We've added so much more dynamics.
Well, it's the first song that when I heard it, I just thought, no, Andrew Ishii's keys on this is just going to be incredible. So that's when the first time I mentioned him to you and played you some other stuff, and that really feature in that song, and it's just beautiful.
It was like real simplistic stuff too. It's not like overbearing in any way. And then managed to slide a bit of the old rock guitar there, just to bring it home.
The keys are just tasty, It's a tasty key. There goes Anne.
Just admit, it still amazes me like where all these songs started. So what they sound like now is just awesome.
So songs like You and Me Girl sort of definitely had a Jimmy Barnesy kind of vibe to them, and I kind of went with that sort of style.
Crazy thoughts out of my head. Oh honey, when I see your face every now and then, I see the light shining from your eyes, and it happens again. 'Cause you and me were meant to be, like the bluebirds flying high above the trees.
Pretty much like all the songs on the album, it started with Rob's acoustic guitar, and he had a really nice riff there, and you know, we just built it up from there.
Friday night when I got your call, sitting at home drinking a Jack Tall. Yeah, I wanted to share up to you. Got in the car, drove through the night, thinking of you, made my tears grow tired. Yeah, I'm running, yeah, I'm running to you. Oh, yeah, I'm running. Yeah, I'm running. I'm running to you. Yeah, I'm running. Yeah, I'm running. I'm running to you.
What about the solo? Old John takes it to another level.
He certainly
He
does.
just rocks in his solo.
I think we've got about 8 or 9 solos, and they're all good. It was really hard to choose which one to use, you know.
That's right, yeah.
I think we got it. I'm pretty sure we got it. We got it? Right. But to me it was roots rock, American roots rock or something. Or even I was thinking of Jimmy Page, these initial guys that made me want to play.
To ride with me, so what happened was 2 mates of mine around similar times bought Harleys, and it was pretty cool, and I was in sort of in the phase of writing songs at that time, and I thought, hey, I want to write a song about these guys riding their bikes. So how could I write a song about the bikes but not being cheesy? You know, it's got to have a little bit of flavour. So when I started writing it, I come up with these couple of little licks, and it sounded like Dusk Till Dawn. And it was actually funny, David, because you remember it, because this was one of the songs I played to you when you first come over and we were talking about it. And then you went in this Dusk Till Dawn sort of those nice little things you were doing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I bought the Wah Wah pedal.
And we're just going away on these little tangents, and then I remember when John comes in and we said Dusk Till Dawn, well, you just mention anything to John and he just takes it to where it's got to go.
And you've got to admit, the cool thing about Johnny, like any particular style that we asked on the spot in the room, he could just do it.
Yep, and there's so many different styles on this record, so it was great to see them in all those different lights. You know, there's just so many, there's kind of punk, there's blues, there's rock, there's country. It's all there.
See, with an eclectic project, often the thread of the singer will really, if they sing a certain way, it'll give it that thread. I think the way that Rob writes his songs will definitely be the thread on this project?
I really liked the fact that they all had their own character. There wasn't that similarity, like the same song sort of being regurgitated throughout the 10 tracks.
Painting this picture, creating this story about, you know, like the devil or the beast, or, you know, like something sort of mystic and evil, but sort of kind of, what would you say, alluring as well.
Alluring, yeah. No, good word. He was expecting that. And then, but yeah, and Karina again. Karina and Ants just nailed it with the vocals, and they just work so good together. It just sounds so good.
Yeah, well, when you got a voice as powerful as Ants, you needed a female voice just as powerful. I mean, so they would work great together.
Absolutely.
Take your time now, honey.
I remember from the start of you playing this song, and I would pick up a harmonica and start jamming, and you wanted me to do some harp, and I'm like, man, just a few days ago we had Midge Marsden on our TV show. I'm saying, if there's going to be a harp on there, we might as well get Midge to do it.
So it's always a bit of a test. It's always like, I hope I can do this okay. You know, I'm so used to doing my own stuff. It's quite simple. No one's going to question what I'm doing and say, don't play that, don't play that, play this. So once you get to the studio, then it's real. You hear the backing track, you hear the guide vocal, or whatever you're being played, and you listen to it, and having listened to it on the rough track, now you're hearing a track that's almost finished. But now you have to put the colour in, and that's what I'm here for, to put the colour in. So being sympathetic to the vocal is the first thing, and I thought the vocal was really good. The song was really strong, quite different, had little pieces in it, and I thought, I know what I think I could do there. So they were very open to playing anything. You know, Jesse said in the rock, you just play what you feel, you know. So you follow the melody and don't get in. The secret is don't get in front of the vocal. Don't override it. Don't override anything you think is going to be in the last one. Don't play over top of the guitar player. Less is more. So come back and find the holes where you think you can put a nice little sweetener in there. That's basically what it's putting little sweeteners in around the vocal, but not interfering with it. So that's kind of exactly how I play if I'm doing it for someone else, and hopefully, you know. And with technology now, it's fantastic. So I did one take, then maybe 2 takes, and they both said, yeah, there's some really sweet stuff in there, really nice little touches. And then maybe make a few suggestions. How about putting da-da-da-da, put that in there? And that's what you want. You want guidance, you know. It's not all up to me just to ad-lib the whole damn thing. And so that's the process, and I quite enjoyed it. So, and then of course, now that I've heard the final product, I'm thinking, damn, I could have done that better. Damn, I wish I'd why didn't I put that there? Why? You know, and I ring up and say, do you think I could come and do it again? You know.
So I wrote that song for my son, and I wrote it when he was, not long after he was born, I think. I wrote the song, and I used to sing it to him, and then to have someone like Midge on it doing his thing and adding that, I mean, yeah,
Gives it a real flavour.
it takes it to somewhere where you can just, it doesn't matter where you are, right? If you're driving, if you're on a boat, if you're at the beach, you can sit there and just get lost.
Live your life with grace. You're an angel and it's written all over your face. Sent to make this world a better place. day in the middle of June when the stranger rode into town. He went straight to the saloon.
I remember
and he
the
ordered
simple,
shot without making a sound.
the simplicity of adding a shaker, and a tambourine, just all these simple instruments that like really brought the songs out.
The standout kind of crazy out of the box one was the Stranger, which it's this fantastic song, country song, which is the kind of the red herring in the lot. But I think it's just such a cool song, and I was kind of channeling some Waylon Jennings or something. It doesn't even sound like me, to be honest. I don't know where it came from, but it's there, and I think it's a fantastic song.
I sort of was envisioning all these dancing girls in the bar, and that's why I needed that sort of
Dresses and the corsets, and they're all coming off.
That's why I needed the female backing vocals.
So I said to Jesse, I said, hey, we need a female. We already had Karina West on the album. And Jesse says, I know exactly who you need.
She's great at harmonies, and that it sounds like 5 or 6 different girls there. She just does so many amazing harmonies, so quick.
So Caroline Shivan, and so she's from Switzerland, and she just nailed it. And then she does that
Swiss
little bit
pop star.
Yeah, and does that little bit of improv at the end, and just makes it come alive. The song was actually written about Billy the Kid's father, who rolls into this town, and he's a gunslinger, and he rolls into this town. They're having this problem with the Dalton brothers. The Dalton brothers are running the town, and the whole town are sick of him. And this guy, Billy the Kid's father, rolls in. No one knows who he is. He walks into the saloon, has an issue with the Dalton brothers, goes out, shoots all 6 of them, and then rides out of town. No one still knows who he is. When the song finishes, you understand what's happened and everything, and you can understand, because she is basically the life of the party. She's starting the party at the end of the song. Hey,
Celebrate.
They've been putting up with these Dalton brothers all these years, and all of a sudden they're free of the Dalton brothers, and she's the party. She's starting the party.
10 years on or thereabouts, he was heard repeating the same. I got 6 shots in the pistol, there's gunpowder in the air. Only one of us is gonna make it out of here. Well, 6 of them, and there's one of me, and you already gave the man. Now my eyes ain't good, and it's understood, but I'm planning to stay.
The only reason you build recording studios is to make music. You don't build studios to make money. Some money is good, but really making music is what building studios is all about. And I made a pact when I started, probably 28 years ago when I built my first studio, that I'd only do stuff that I loved. Especially an album project. I only work with people I know, like, and trust, and actually like the music or love the music. Because if you get immersed in an album and you don't like the music, it's soul destroying. So we had a lot of fun on this record, and it starts with great songs and great musicians. Rob's a great organizer of people and got some really amazing people in.
There's definitely an Americana thread, and from what I've heard from people that listened back to me to the record already and gave me the report back on it, said there is a strong Americana thread, and I think that's a cool thing. That's cool, It's obviously got his Kiwiisms in there, and the Americans will pick that up probably, which isn't a bad thing, because anything, again, that we get wrong in a Kiwi way, they see as slightly original.
This album's been a labour of love, time and dedication. It's taken well over 2 years to create. So to Davey, Jesse, and especially Rob, I have to take my hat off to you guys for starting the course and writing and producing a really good rock album, which in this day and age is hard to find. I think the days of just good, solid, hard, classic rock seem to have disappeared, and I think this album encapsulates that.
I got so much respect for Rob, he's one of those people that you meet in life. He's a doer. He's not sitting around thinking about it, he's making it happen. And he's decided that he wants to do a record, and he's pulled all these people together, and I've met some fantastic people. We've had some fantastic jams, there's been some fantastic moments, there's been some crushing moments. I couldn't think of anyone better to work with. It's just so easy. And all the people here was so easy. There was no egos involved at all. Everyone was very realistic about what they were and weren't capable of. So everyone put themselves in the right position, I believe, for this record. From a production point of view, it's night and day. It really is. From where this project started, listening to a few chords in Rob's kitchen, him on an acoustic guitar, to where it is now, it's just absolute polar opposite of where it started. And it's cool to be a part of that. It's really cool to be a part of it.
Well, I'd only met Rob on the day of the studio, and because Jesse was a bit scant on detail, just saying that Rob Vazey's doing an album, could you come and play? Yeah, sure, I'd come and play a track on, that'd be great. But it wasn't till, it's unfolded to me that Rob isn't really playing much on it. It's his album, his songs that come from his head, and he's brought around a team of people that he's gathered around him to interpret the ideas in his head onto this album. So it's quite an unusual situation like that. Generally the main man is the man that's leading the charge, singing all the songs, but I quite like the idea that he's got cooperation and input from other musicians who all bring something to the table. So it's a very unusual situation how he's gone from there to the finished product, but I wish him all the best. I think it's a great idea, and in fact, there's probably people out there that do that sort of thing, but they auto-tune. And Rob doesn't auto-tune, But so that's cool. But I think that it's worked really, really well from the little bits and pieces you played me today. Fantastic. It's really, really good.
When we started this album, we had no idea. We had no idea who the musicians were going to be. We had no idea what the sounds were going to be. We just jumped in the studio and started recording. As we carried on through, we started bringing different people that contributed in different ways. Some people brought some happy vibes, some people brought some soul, some people brought... It was an amazing journey that brought all these different sounds and all these different people from around the globe. And I feel the Vazey Collective name speaks for what's happened. We've put the word out, we've brought all these people in that had no idea when we started in the recording studio. They had no idea they were going to be part of this journey. And now we've created something that I feel is special. I think will touch people in some way or another. The songs tell stories. Some of the songs tell stories that really happen. And I think people will, when they listen to the music, I'm sure people will understand what the songs are about. And they may reflect on them and it may touch them in a way that makes it special for them. And that's, as a musician and as a songwriter, that's what music's about. It's not about what it was written about, but it's whether the journey will take them somewhere that is special for them. And all these musicians that have been on the album and everyone that's contributed to this album, I can only, I can't thank them enough for taking my music to where it's become. It's been a hell of a journey.